Welcome back to the channel, folks, and here we have a different item, which is a vintage camera, a vintage SLR from 1969. This is a YASHICA 35mm film camera. The reason I'm doing this video is as a lot of people are now enthusiastic of taking film and taking pictures with film, and they realize that film sometimes is even better than digital, because the quality of a film, when you take a film, especially with 35mm SLR, is just fantastic quality. And also a lot of folks are into cameras, and they want to get into cameras as a hobby. And one of the main thing is when you're going to start in cameras, start with the basics and start with the ones that made the industry. And this is one of these cameras. This is a 35mm SLR, which is fully mechanical. So there's nothing electronic about it, except for a little battery that's for the light meter, and that's about it. Everything else is fully mechanical. This one's from 1969, and when I got it, it was not in this shape, but right now it looks incredible. This is made by YASHICA. It's a Japanese company, and this is the TLE from 1969. Now these cameras are phenomenal because they're all solid metal. There's very little plastic. I would say right here maybe, but I'm not sure. But to tell you the truth, right here. But that's about it. Everything else is metal, and they're heavy. They're made similar to the old Canons and Nikons from that era, and also the Leica R's, which were made by Minolta, or incorporated with Minolta. But these YASHICAs are as good and as well made as most of those, and it's one of the off brands that it's not really an off brand, but they didn't advertise it as much as the other ones. But it's a solid, it feels like a tank, and it's not that big. So this is a perfect camera to go ahead and do street photography, or to do a studio, to do portraits. This is a phenomenal camera for portraits. The great thing about it also, when you do a portrait with a film camera compared to like a crop sensor digital, is that you're going to get a full frame. And that's another great thing about it. Well, let's go over the camera and see what it's all about and what it offers. Now, first off, the lens. Let's go ahead and check out the lens. This one here comes with a YASHICA Yashinan, which is a phenomenal lens. DX 1.17 50mm lens. This is a great lens. This is a great lens for street photography, for any type of photography. Unless you're doing nature photography, you need to do that from afar. Then you need a zoom lens. But this lens here, it's got the wide angle. It gives you incredible pictures, and the quality of the YASHICA Yashinan DX lenses are phenomenal. Great thing about it is also that they haven't jumped in price as much as other lenses in the same category. Now, as you can see here, this is what controls the aperture. So the aperture, well, here's where you zoom in. But here's the aperture. So right now it's at 16. And 16 is like the smallest opening in the lens, right? So the aperture, the more you go forward, the wider the opening of the lens is. And why do you need this? Well, the main thing is, let's say you have it on 16. Well, the picture that you take of the subject or whoever it is or whatever it is going to come out really, really sharp. And also the surroundings are going to come out really, really sharp. Once you go more towards the higher numbers right here, then yeah, the main part is going to be sharp, but the other parts around it is going to be a little blurry, and that's what they call bokeh or boku, how they call it. which is basically a different type of photographing, and you can do both. So you can do a really, really clear shot. I mean, everything in focus, or you can do the main character in focus and the rest in a blurry type of thing. So this is all manual. There's no computer or anything else controlling this. This is all you. So the great thing about it is, if you're learning photography, basically you can learn this and be sort of an expert when you get into digital or anything else. The main great thing also about these lenses is they can screw off. So they're not like a bayonet style lens that you have to prod in there. These are screw off lenses. They are they're basically M42 mounts, so you just screw them right off and they come right off. Now this lens is in great condition, and it just has an incredible color to it. Really phenomenal lens on here. As you can see, here's the threads here for the screw, and let me go ahead and clean that off there. Now, as you can see, that's the shutter and that's the mirror right there. When you when you wind the camera, okay, and you hit see how fast that shutter went up and down. That right there is on a fast speed. Now, if you want it to go slower, you turn the dial. Now this one's missing the shutter speed ring, so I put an F and an S. F for fast, S for slow, and then you got the middle. Now this is going to be tougher, but hey, listen, you know, you got to do what you got to do to make do. And so I put it right in the middle. Now when I wind it again, it's going to be a little slower, and then if I keep going and I wind it, see, it's a little slower. So it's seconds slower. So it all depends on how your lining is. So if you're in a dark area and you need the mirror to go slowly up, then you would go slow. If you were in a more lighted area, like the sun is out and it's behind your back and you're taking a picture, well, then you don't need too much light to come in here. So you just go to a fast shutter, and it'll do the fast one, okay? Now, when you turn this thing over, right here, on the right-hand side, there's a counter, okay? And that tells you how much film you have used. So most of these film, when you buy the film roll, they'll come with 26 or 38, depending on which one you get. You can get black and white, or you can get color. So this basically tells you exactly where you're at, so you'll know how much film you have left. Now this is the rewind. So right here, this is ready to take another shot, and you just press and you got it. Now right here, you see this number? That's called the ASA or the ISO. In the newer cameras, it's called the ISO. So that means if you buy a film that's 200 ISO, well, you put the dial at 200. If you buy 400 ISO, 400, and so on and so on. You just lift this up there, and then you go 800. You lift it up again, 400, and you lift it up, and 200, and on and on. So that'll basically set your ISO right here. Okay, let's turn the camera around here. Here's the viewfinder. This camera, to tell you the truth, is in really good shape. When I got it, it was pretty dirty, and but we went ahead and did a cleaning on it, and this thing looks fantastic. Right here is where you're now. There's only one thing that this uses to use a battery, which goes right here, and that's going to be the light meter. Okay. And the light meter is basically to tell you the exact light that you need to set your shutter speed. But this one, since the shutter speed knob doesn't have the numbers, you just got to go by what you think. And it's going to be harder, but once you learn it and do it, then you really become a pro at what you're doing. Because if you can do this without the numbers, and you get good at it, you can get any camera and shoot it. Now here is where you get this opens up right here. And this one has a battery in it, but the battery's not working. These batteries, since they have mercury, they're not selling them anymore. Look at how big this battery is. It's a pretty big battery. And that's the compartment right there. Now, this thing, these batteries here, since, like I said, they're not, they're made out of mercury, they're not being sold anymore. But there's videos on YouTube showing you how to convert a regular battery with some adapters to use as a light meter. You can also use a light meter from your cell phone, you know, or yeah, light meter from the cell phone will work fine. In order to open up the battery, the compartment for the film in the back, you go ahead and lift this up, and then you lift. And you lift a little harder, and then there it goes, and it opens up, and that's the compartment, as you can see. And this is where you put your roll of film, right here, and then you pull it, and it goes into this slots right here that you see right here. Those slots is where you put your film in, and then once you close it, okay, once you close it. Also try to put it flat, you know, try to put it as flat as possible, and then put it in the slot. And then once you close it up, okay, you lower this down, okay, and then what you do is you go ahead and click. See, you see right now this is at S, so there's no film that has been processed yet. So you click one time here. And you click twice, you click again, and now it's at 1. Now it's when you're ready to take the film, to take your first photograph. Over here, once you're clicking, okay, this is not doing it because it doesn't have the film, but once you're clicking here, this should be rotating anti-clockwise, because as soon as you take a photograph and you wind it this way, this should be going this way for the photograph to go that way, so you'll know it's working fine. As long as you put it right in the slot where it needs to go, everything will work fine with it. To go ahead and take the film off, you just have to push this little button once you're finished, right? You push this little button, you go ahead and open this up, and you wind the film back into the canister, okay? You wind it back, you close it up, and then you open up your hatch and take the film off, and everything will be set. And it'll click when the film is all in this side, inside the canister. One other thing I forgot to mention, here on this side of the camera is an on switch, and this is for your light meter. So let's say you get the right battery and now you got your light meter working that you can see through the viewfinder. Well, when you want to use your light meter, you just turn this on downward, and then when you don't use it anymore, you turn it back up so it won't drain your battery. Now this here is for a flash unit. If you want to get there's basically flashes that you can attach and use outside the shoot, and those you can do that with this attachment here. It's like a cable that you can basically have a flash in. Now this is where the flash goes, and when you put the flash, a lot of people, well, you know, if you're doing a studio or some kind of film, you're doing you're basically taking shots and doing like a photo studio or something like that. When you put your flash here, let's say I'll get this flash for instance, right? This flash here. When you set it up, you try not to leave it going forward. So let's say your flash, you put it on there and it's up forward. Well, what you try to do is set this flash. Now I'm going to take the camera out of the way so you'll see. If you have one of these flashes, what you can do is you set the flash to go sideways, okay? Now I'm trying to... so that way the flash is not going directly into the person's face or whoever you're trying to photograph. So it'll go to the wall and then it'll ricochet to whoever the person or the object that you're taking the flash to. Instead of doing it forward, you basically do it sideways, or you also lift it up, but you also basically do it sideways. So you lift it up a little bit and then you turn it sideways if you have one of those flashes. This is one of those flashes, okay? If not, just if you don't have one of those flashes, just turn it as far up as you can, so that way the light will ricochet from the ceiling to the subject that you're photographing. That's if you're doing an inside photograph of a person or whatever you're photographing inside a building or a house. Overall, folks, this is just a phenomenal camera. You can't go wrong with something like this. They're not too expensive. They're very inexpensive. One more thing, if you want to take a selfie, which that's the in thing right now with these young people, they want to take selfies and stuff. Well, you can put this in a tripod, connect it to a tripod from here, right? And then you can get film of a selfie. You can just basically, there's a timer right here. So what you do is you wind it, you set your timer, and then you push it, and all of a sudden you go ahead and you got 10 seconds to get in front of the camera, and once you get in front of the camera, it'll take the picture, as you can see right there. So that's a great thing. You know, you can take pictures of yourself, your family, or friends, selfie style. Well, that's going to be it on this beautiful vintage 1969 YASHICA TLE camera. Really well built. They're built like a tank. If you open up this section here, it looks like one of those chronograph watches, because they got so much gears and it's just very well made. They don't make stuff like this anymore, folks. So if you have a chance, get yourself one. If you're into photography and you want to do film and you want to get into it, get yourself one of these. Thanks for watching. Really do appreciate you guys watching the channel. Thanks for your subscriptions. It keeps me going, and I try to bring more content, and you folks have a great day.